We've all seen the standard goat breeds that are here in the United States, so seeing something like this, a Nigerian dwarf, for example, probably isn't that impressive. But what would you think if you saw the farmer next door had this goat in his backyard? Or this one? Today we're going to look at 10 goat breeds that you probably won't ever see in your lifetime. Be sure to watch until the end because I'm going to show you one super rare goat in here that you actually might have a possibility to see in your lifetime if you take the right steps. Number 1, the Damascus goat. You'll also hear this called the chamois goat, the Aleppo goat, or the Beetal goat. It's a breed that originates from the Middle East, particularly Syria and Lebanon. This goat usually tops the list of the ugliest or most unusual goats in the world, and it kind of looks like it came straight out of Star Wars. If Jar Jar Binks had a goat, it would be this one. It's also a big goat. Does weigh up to 154 pounds, and bucks weigh up to 264 pounds. Because of their size, they're considered a dual breed, and they're used for both milk and meat. When you milk them, you might be getting over a gallon of rich and butterfat goat milk a day. But what's even more unusual about their appearance is what they look like as kids. They start out so cute, and then they turn into this. And fun fact, although you probably won't ever meet a true Damascus goat unless you travel to the Middle East, you probably have seen a goat from their family tree. I have one. The Nubian goat gets its long ears and its Roman nose from the Damascus goat. Yes, that's right. Those cute little Nubian goats are actually part Damascus. You might be able to travel to the Middle East to find a Damascus goat, but you'll have a hard time finding goat number 2 on this list, the Bilberry goat. The Bilberry goat is a feral goat breed in Ireland, and their story is actually pretty cool. They're considered an ancient breed, and their breed came into existence in the 1700s when French Protestants fled France to Ireland to avoid prosecution from their religion. They brought their goats with them, and they've been on Bilberry Hill overlooking the city of Waterford since then. They've changed a little bit to adapt to the conditions, but that's where they originally came from. This herd is looked after by the Bilberry Goat Heritage Trust. Extinction is always a threat to these goats, and in 2000 there were only 7 goats left. They had gotten up to 150 goats in their herd, and then in 2015 somebody stole the majority of the herd and they had to start over. I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't know how many Bilberry goats are left and how many are in their herd right now. I did reach out to the Bilberry Goat Heritage Trust and ask them. If I get a message, I will update it in the comments and let you know how many goats they have. And let me know if you want to know more about these goats because I think that it's pretty cool. By the way, if you're enjoying this, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow, and I love seeing you guys on here when I make new videos. Number 3 is the Beetal goat from Pakistan. It's another one of those goats with the long ears. You're going to see so many goats in this list that have those long ears. They're known for their sweet temperament, and they're great milk goats, giving between 2 and 4 quarts of milk a day. These are also a dual purpose breed, and they also serve as meat goats. If you're watching this from India, this goat wouldn't be on your list of goats you'll never see because they're one of the most popular goat breeds in India. They're popular there because they can adapt to the dry and tropical climates. Number 4 is the Girgentana goat. This comes from Sicily, Italy, and it is a rare breed. Girgentana goats are super cool because they have these really cool long spiral horns. They also have a pretty interesting history. In the 1920s, if you wanted fresh goat milk, it didn't get much fresher than these goats. Farmers would literally take them from door to door and they would milk them there right on the spot for their customers. Their milk is mild flavored and it would usually be given to infants and the elderly. In the 1920s, new laws came into Italy that prohibited a lot of urban farming practices, and goat farming not only went down because of that, but it started to be looked down on. In the 1950s, there were about 30,000 of these goats left, and they were almost extinct by the 80s. Right now, there are about 500 of these goats left. Number 5, the Girgentana goat is one that you might find if you go to Pakistan. These are large goats, they're usually black, and they have twisted horns. They're also known as DDP goats. Number 6, the Beetal and the Girgentana goat breeds mix to make another cool breed called the Khaghani goat. Like both the Beetal and the Girgentana goats, the Khaghani goats are dual purpose. These goats are native to northern India and they're well adapted to the high altitude environment of the Khaghani region. They thrive in the rugged terrain and cooler temperatures. They have a variety of colors and it makes them stand out from a lot of the other goats in the area. Number 7, if you like the other long-haired goats, you are going to love the Jamnapari goat. The Jamnapari goat is another prominent goat breed from India. This goat is called the Queen of Goats because of their unique look. Aren't they so pretty? They're also known as the Shambal Queen goat, meaning the queen of the Shambal region of India. They're usually white and they might have tan spots on them, but that's not what makes them stand out. They usually have long ears and those funny shaped faces with little short horns about 6 inches long. Their legs are longer too, and you're going to see long, thick hair on their hind legs. This is to protect their udder from thorns and brushes, like if they're standing up to eat something and they're protecting their udder from anything that might be down there. Number 8, we've shown a lot of goats with the long ears, but now let's look at the opposite, the Barbary goat. The Barbary goat has shorter ears. I kind of think they look a little bit like Nigerian dwarf goats. They're about the same size as them too. These goats aren't anything that you can find in the US, but they're really common in India, Somalia, and Pakistan. These goats are used for both meat and milk, but are usually meat goats and are considered cheap beginner goats because they're really, really hardy and they usually give birth to at least twins or triplets. Number 9. Salelian goats are another goat breed with really long ears and cool horns. You'll find this breed of goat in West Africa. They look bigger than they actually are though, and they're only about 52 pounds, which is roughly the size of a Nigerian dwarf goats. These goats are usually bred for their meat and their skin. The Salelian goat has evolved to thrive in the harsh conditions like high temperatures, low rainfall, and limited water resources. Number 10, the last on our list of goats today is the Arapawa goat. This goat is characterized by their cool, swooping out horns. This goat was really close to extinction before, and it was said that there were only about 700 of this breed left in the world, but I did a little bit of research and it looks like it's closer to about 1,000 now. They're thought to be derived from the Old English milch goat or Old English milk goat. Between 1768 and 1779, English Captain James Cook made 3 voyages to the Pacific. He's known for his exploration and mapping of the Pacific region, including New Zealand. And one of the things that they did back then was they would release livestock for future settlers. And Captain James Cook has been given credit for releasing the Old English milch goat to New Zealand during these expeditions. They brought them there and they released them so anyone that came there afterwards would have what they were used to. They would have goats for milk and meat. After the Old English milch goat was released, a herd of them became isolated on the Arapawa Island. They were almost extinct, but then some of them were removed from the Arapawa Islands into other areas of New Zealand for farming and breed conservation. And this isn't something that you see happen very often nowadays, but some of them were even sent to the United States and England so that they could conserve their breed. If you're in the United States or England now, you can actually be part of this breed conservation and have the Arapawa goats in your herds. Out of all of the goats on this list, this is probably the only one that you would ever have a chance of meeting on US soil. Curious, if you could have any of the goats on this list, which one would you choose? Have you gotten to meet any of these goats? Let me know in the comments. And before you leave, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'm going to see you over here on this video next.